Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
My name is Dr. Kent Mercado, and I'm running for Congress. For the past 25 years, I've served the 11th District as a physician, an attorney, and a humanitarian. I'm running for Congress to have a larger impact and to bring your voice to Washington. I've visited every county in the district, and I've met with thousands of people, listening and learning from them about their concerns. I found that family values and kitchen table issues are what's most important. So we need to reignite the economy, improve our educational system, ensure the safety of our communities, provide access to affordable physical and mental health care, and of course support our farmers. I'm Dr. Kent Mercado, and I'm running for Congress to be your voice. Together we can make sustainable solutions for our nation.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed me.
Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Oh, y'all almost caught me. I almost wasn't in the chair. I had to run. Woo, out of breath. I had to run upstairs. Ooh, getting old. No, yeah, well, getting older. You better hope you get older. What's the other option? That's right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on up in here. That's the bell of purpose. I ring it on purpose, with purpose, because just like that bell got a ring to it, so does the truth. And I know y'all busy. I know, flat ironing hair over there. I see you over there cooking up the oatmeal for the baby. All that stuff. I even see you stuck in traffic. Should have got a remote job. But we should never become so busy that we miss the truth. Can I get an amen? Yes. Yes, I'll kick it off. I ain't ashamed. Look, there it is. Amen. Amen. Listen, what I love about us coming together every day, Monday through Friday, is we fulfill one of the greatest promises available to us, and that is the one that guarantees us when two or more, just two, it just takes two of us. When we get together and we have that same heart set mindset, we're in agreement that we're here to change this world through easing of suffering. Spiritual magic is the end result. Can I get one more? Amen. I'll kick this one off too. There it is. There it is. Listen, only one announcement, because that's why I ran upstairs, because they came day before yesterday. You know what, Comcast, Xfinity, y'all gonna quit playing with me for real. Sometimes I feel like I get my internet from the dollar store. It'd be in out. Shoot, I'm about to get that Earthlink thing. Elon Musk, some real friends of mine have it. They say it's good. We're gonna find out. Look, y'all. Thank you to the Los Angeles Tribune magazine. We are in here because of our trip to Romania, the Legacy of Hope tour. And I am just so grateful. God is good, isn't he? Is he? Yes, isn't he? Isn't he? Isn't he goes right along with fitna. I'm fitting to go to the store. Isn't it good? Granny, I'm channeling my Granny Callie. So anyway, thank you to the Los Angeles Tribune magazine for honoring the Power of We Symposium and putting us in there for the world to see. What a week already. Wednesday, just flying through. It is chilly here in the Chicagoland area. Frost advisories the last couple of nights. Had to bring in all my little house plants off the deck. I looked out there. They were all crinkling and stuff. Like, ooh, I'm dying. I hurried up and got them in here. Right. So how's it shaping up today in your neck of the woods? Beautiful day, rainy day. Put it in the comments. I want to know. And welcome to the show. She's been here all 7 years. This is my Ed McMahon. She's my sidekick, my wing girl, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo in the house. Great show for you today. Good guy here today. Real good guy. Coffee Cup Chuck. That's the name. Somebody told me, Jeremy Nunez swarming down. He saw Coffee Cup Chuck in an airport somewhere. I asked him. He said, it wasn't me. Wasn't none of me. Sure wasn't none of me. Yeah, he's from the Kansas City area. No, Kansas. He live in Kansas. We're going to find out. Coffee Cup Chuck is in the house. He's a speaker. He has a podcast. As a matter of fact, didn't y'all say y'all found something about that podcast? Somebody said they did. Yeah, they did. Look at this. Wait a minute, y'all. Watch this.
First Cup KC. Unique. Hustle hard youth. Yeah. Whoa. First Cup KC. Start your day off with a cup of Joe and positive combo. First Cup KC. Shine a light on the ones that work hard from Kansas to the Mo. First Cup KC. Do it. Motivate, educate, inspire the youth to be brave. First Cup KC. Believe in yourself is the key to make a change. It's never too late. First Cup KC. This broadcast is a No Solutions podcast production.
You need a second verse to that joint. Coffee Cop Chuck. I played that. I said, you know, and you see I can dance, right?
Yeah, I see you jamming.
I know. And in my family, they haters. My little nieces and nephews, they be like, sit down, Uncle Carlton, from Fresh Prince. I'm like, y'all, you need to quit.
Hey,
I know I'll be jamming.
And dressing. Yeah, and dressing.
Get out of here. Go on. No, for real. Go on. Go on now. Go on now.
Somebody told me that you don't wear the same thing twice. That's all I'm saying. They said you buy gear, and when you buy it, nice gear, you go ahead, give it away to somebody.
I donate it.
Yeah, you donate it to the fashion world, to the fashion gods. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. That's how I know. I love it when kids. It happened the other day. Some kids came up and said, "Ooh, nice outfit." They were high schoolers, and I was like, "For real, y'all just saying is that a pity compliment for an old person?" They said, "No, your Vans are popping. They match your shirt." This, and I was like, "Thank y'all," because you know what? I just love. Cause I'm gonna tell you what though. Cause have you watched any of the music shows lately? They'll be coming up in the spring. You know, the award show, and don't know none of the people.
Yeah, none of them.
None of them.
But they winning.
I'm like, who is that? Right?
Man.
And y'all heard me say the other day about I'm still messed up in the head about that one. A few months ago, I was at a restaurant and they were playing Whitney Houston. I asked my little waiter, which Whitney Houston? I said, which one of her songs? Which Whitney Houston song is your favorite? He went, who? Whitney Houston. I asked the waiter that I said, which Whitney Houston song is your favorite? And he said, who is that?
What?
Didn't know. He was like 17. He didn't know who Whitney Houston was.
I don't care how old he was. Whitney Houston. It's people like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince. People, it's certain people you don't forget. I don't care what generation you.
It wasn't about forgetting. He didn't know. He didn't never know who she was.
Yeah,
remember Whitney been gone 10 years.
Yeah. God.
So he was 7.
Already? 10 years already?
Already. See how time flies? Coffee cup.
Yeah.
Who did that opener for your podcast?
The No Solutions production team.
That was awesome.
And then the video, a lot of people think that's me, but it's not me. That's Yes, that's not me. That's a friend of mine. He's a Kansas City legend here. He's a rap star down here, and he's been rapping around here for some decades now, and he's big and known in KC. That was a big favor for him to do that for me, so I got to give a shout out to Unique.
You telling me that wasn't you?
Nah, that wasn't me. Nope. You're gonna have to go back and watch that one.
I am.
Yeah.
I wish I still had it pulled up. You know, I used to get confused back in the day. I used to look back in the day. They used to say, back when I was younger, I didn't know why. You look like Sammy Davis Jr. I get mad when they say that. Who you call a Sammy Davis Jr.? I ain't got no glass eye. Right. Yeah. And then it switched to, in my 30s and 40s, it became Bill Cosby. Back when the Cosby Show was on. Yeah. And I liked it then, but then let them say it now.
Yeah.
You might, who you, say it again. I want to hear you say it. Right. Don't call me Bill Cosby now. I'm just saying.
Hey, so anyway, that's better than Chester the Molester.
Boy.
Yeah, because my real first name is Chester. So I got heat all the time.
No.
Yes. They were like, oh my God. And then the song came out. Oh man.
Lord. Talk about being bullied.
Yeah, man. No, I turned into a bully because of it.
I know that's right.
I was the person in school that they would dare people to say it. Hey, say it.
I dare you say Chester Melissa here.
Yeah.
Especially the new kid that didn't know no, but I ain't scared. Right. Yep. Trying to make a name. Mm-hmm. Pop them in their lips. Look, because see, I forgot we were on the air. Hi, y'all. I forgot. I thought you were sitting up in my family room. I'm going to dip out for about 30 seconds. Let you create your own vibe with the audience, a little thing we do here on Bathrobe Moments, and then we'll really get started, with the serious interview.
It ain't gonna be serious. In just a second, Paul, I'm gonna dip out, let you say hello to the folks, and then I'll come back in. You can fill in between the lines because I didn't read not nary a word of your. What is it with grandma today, girl? Okay, I'm using all her little sayings.
Yeah.
All her little sayings, right. So go ahead and say hello, Chuck, and then I'll come back in. Okay, all you take it away.
Got you. What's good, people? It's your boy, Coffee Cup Chuck. And just to give you guys a little bit of information about who I am a motivational, inspiring speaker, an author, and I love to get people up first thing in the morning with messages that we tend to forget about. So if you guys are waking up in the morning and you're lacking that morning motivation that'll give you that extra pep in the day, sit down with me for a cup of coffee and let's figure out how we can motivate you and get you going. One thing I like to say is the beginning of the morning is the best time to
wait a minute.
Alive, so
what time is your podcast?
Oh, the podcast is the podcast airs once a week.
Okay, but what about this morning thing you're talking about? Better not be same time as Bathrobe Moments.
No, that's the anytime between 8 and 12 o'clock in the morning. Eastern and Central.
Okay, well, he mean between 9 and 12 o'clock Central, because y'all better be right here between 8 and 9. That's all I got to say.
So
let me catch y'all cheating on me.
So this right here, what I do in the morning is not something that airs. I post it. They're blogs. They're morning blogs.
Oh, so they could be here and still have you on the. Because I want y'all to watch me from the TV set anyway.
Yes,
talk about
I'm
that
doing in the morning, man.
What?
I can't be doing my cup if I'm watching the show.
Well, you might. I'm just saying, I gotta watch them because they'll come and poach you in a minute.
Yeah, and that happens too. We were just talking about that earlier.
We're gonna talk about it today on this show because people need to know. We don't have to mention no names or nothing, but a lot of people think that in this business that we are in, it's a business, but first and foremost, you need to know when it's a calling. And you can tell because all you got to do is not just watch people's mouths, watch their feet. Watch their feet. And you can tell if they really about what they say they're really about. You got to be careful nowadays. You know why? Like Les always says, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. And I said, yeah, but you got to watch out because a lot of people today are starving. Now, what's the difference? Coffee Cup Joe. Who is that? Oh,
that's my cousin.
Are you serious?
No.
I was saying, well, God,
you play with me all the time like that.
The Chrysler premonition earlier.
Got your back.
So I'm like, oh my goodness, right? No, but for real, you gotta really be careful because there's a lot of people that come in. They wear what's the Bible say about
wolves in sheep's clothing?
There it is. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I done been duped and I can't stand it. I'll be like, how did I miss that? But they're so good. Some people, because all about this.
Yeah.
All about this. That's all it is. But let's talk about you and let's start with the thing you're talking about, your morning blog. How'd that get started and why? Why did you feel it was important for you to help people start their day off on the right trajectory?
So it started with actually me, Lauren.
See?
It started with me. It always starts with you. And some people project it outward and some people just hold it in. Well, I used to wake up early in the morning for no reason. I'd be up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and I didn't have anything to do at that time. Well, I would sit there laying in the bed, just turning my brain with stupid stuff. And it just was poisonous. So I asked God, I said, man, dear Heavenly Father, please.
Yes.
You got me up this early in the morning for something. Just let me know what I got to do. And he basically told me, you need to find yourself. And the only thing that you can do to find yourself is write. So put down the TV remote and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing in their life. And you need to start getting yourself together. And the only way you're going to get it together is to just let me guide you. All my life, Doc, all my life, I guided myself. I wouldn't let my parents guide me. I wouldn't let friends guide me. And I always guided myself to the wrong place. So I let him guide me this time. And he guided me to where I'm sitting right now.
See?
And he told me, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you to start writing these blogs.
Yeah.
And I want you to put a message behind it, but this is how I want you to do it. I want you to put images on the front of these cups, and I want you to write about the image, and I want you to use your face and this image on the cup as an attraction to attract people to want to know what you're reading, what you're writing about today. And that's how we're going to get these messages that you need to hear out to the world. So those messages start with me.
Uh-huh.
When I write these messages, I'm not writing them. Doc, let me tell you, listen to me now. When I write these messages, when God writes these messages, he writes them for me to read. And while I'm writing them, while God's writing them,
you hearing them,
I'm hearing them, but also everyone else is hearing them. So, and there's so many messages that I've written, Lauren, that I just broke down crying after I wrote it.
Yeah.
And it, because it's like me, it's talking about me.
It's speaking to you on its way to the world.
Yes.
That's the same. That's how Bathrobe Moments got here. Y'all know that. Those of y'all that have been here all 7 years, that's what happened. I'll never forget. I was getting up just like you, 4 a.m, and I hadn't even, I don't think I was going to the gym that early yet. That came after, because I was getting up at 4:14, my angel number, right? I was getting up anyway. And then one morning, right around 7:30, I stubbed my pinky toe on my right. I felt like Della Reese. Oh, you're going to shoot my pinky toe off? Right. It felt like it was shot off, broke off. I was hopping along. I cussed till 2:30 in the afternoon. And I sat down. I was sweating, right? Because I just knew I was scared to look at my foot. I just knew the toe was somewhere over there, right? And it felt like it broke clean off. And I was like, you know what, God? Same you did. I said, I need something. So this can't happen. Ain't no way something should take up from 7:30 in the morning, 5 hours. I'm bitching and don't want to leave me alone. All right. And he said, open your phone. I still had on my bathrobe, had Lucy right here in my hand. Open your phone, go live and call it Bathrobe Moments. And I promise that was 7 years ago. And here we are today. So y'all better listen. Them downloads ain't no joke. Can I get an amen? Yeah. So here you are today doing that. Now, I see your little step and repeat backdrop back there. Hey, wait a minute. My name supposed to be on there somewhere. It's down on the bottom on the other side. It's on there. It's down on the
right
bottom.
here. It's right.
You see it? Yeah, that's my name. Hey, Lauren. So anyway, let's talk about that.
That's rapid.
I'm so glad I met you there through our dear friends, Brenda Ringwood and Terrence Leffridge. And, I knew Terrence before he left here, the Chicagoland area, and he kind of led me to Brenda, actually. And then Tracy Randolph, one of my coaching clients, good old, hey, Reset Coach, hey, girl. And she like my daughter. I just love me some Tracy. And then I met you down in St. Louis, and your lovely wife. How's she doing, by the way?
She's doing all right, man. She's getting ready to retire, man. I'm trying to retire out of the business right now so we can hit the road more and I can do my speaking stuff a little more. So
tell us, before we get into your speaking, because a little more of your origin story. How did you grow up? What was it like for you? Was it in the suburbs? Did you have a silver spoon? 2-parent family, 1-parent family, 12 siblings, no siblings? What did it look like for Chuck growing up? And I think that's important because that's usually when legacy and legend and who you're going to become starts peeking his head in. We don't see it oftentimes then, but we hopefully will before too much longer. So tell us about that. How'd you get started? What was it like growing up as little Chuck? Chucky. They call you Chucky?
They call me Little Nut. They call me Nutty Boy.
I
had some crazy names because I was a little ball of energy when I was a kid.
I can see that.
And they got me in a lot of trouble. They say if you have that energy, people with a lot of energy, born with a lot of energy, are special people. They say it's called high sex nature, but you got to do something positive with the energy that's derived from that. And I did all the bad stuff, but I was born with a wooden spoon in my mouth. I was poor as hell. And that spoon was waterlogged.
So in other words,
let me tell you, I got to drink to that.
Ground zero.
Positive.
Oh, not the wooden spoon. Okay.
Yeah. So, my dad was an alcoholic, He was an abusive alcoholic, so he mentally and abused moms to a point where moms had to get the hell out of there, and she moved us far away from him, which took us from Chicago to all the way from the Robert Taylor Apartments on State, all the way to Omaha, Nebraska, the
You
land of the
started here in Chi-Town? I didn't know that.
born in St. Maurice Hospital.
Okay, go ahead.
Grew up there, and I even lived in Milwaukee for some time because they all transferred from Chicago over to the mill. But not having that father figure in my life, what happened to me is the streets got me. And you know, the streets ain't always positive to you, especially if environment. I loved my upbringing. I loved my neighborhood I grew up in, because it taught me a lot of things that I needed to know in order to be the person I am today. But it did have a very negative impact on me that sent me to prison. I caught some cases at the age of 14 years old, which you would think would send you to a juvenile facility. But instead, those crimes were considered to be above normal when it came to the juvenile system. So they actually tried me in adult court, and that sent me to prison at the age of 15.
What?
Yeah, 15 years old.
So the process began at 14 when you caught the case, and you drug on out.
Yeah.
And they was probably waiting to 15 so they could send you to. So you in there with grown ass men.
I went from not having no father in my life to a bunch of troubled fathers,
predators, and just bad seeds. But you know, so okay, so wow, Chuck, I promise I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So you know what that does to a child when you're so young? It either breaks you or it makes you. Well, the jails, they didn't want me there. First of all, a lot of the men, you know, back in there was the prohibitions, and they talked about all of the the white on black crimes and the white on black unfair rulings and stuff during the court system. So they actually turned me into their kid. They wouldn't let me like watch porn magazines. I couldn't have lighters. They wouldn't let me smoke cigarettes. Man, I literally went from not having a dad in my life to actually having a whole yard full of them. And was all of the relationships good? Nah, but there were some golden ones in there that I had some relationships with some men in there that they really taught me how to grow up. They told me I had to grow up fast, and they helped me process that. So
that you could stay alive, and plus you weren't doing all day.
Yeah.
They knew you know to get out, you know, and that's an interesting thing about prison, you know, because you know I went too, and that's like you would never think that you could learn the things you learn in a place like that. But you know, God makes no mistakes.
Nope,
God makes no mistakes. I'm going to say it one more time. God makes no mistakes. That's just his way of keeping this shit interesting, y'all. That's all it is. There ain't no mistakes. It ain't never about just one thing. So
that's a chip. That's a chip. That's what I call a chip off the diamond block.
Amen. Amen. Ooh-wee. So how much time did you do when it was all said and done, Coffee Cup?
So I did. So let me just say this. I wanted to be like the kids in the neighborhood. So I wanted to have the fancy cars and the shoes and the clothes. So I didn't understand that they were selling drugs. I didn't realize that they were selling drugs. I thought that that's just the lifestyle that they live because they did other crimes. So I broke into a pawn shop, stole some guns and some bullets, and a neighborhood friend of mine stole a van, which made it accessible for us to get around now. And you know, we drove around just on a crime spree, just breaking in stuff and robbing people. Yeah. So
at 14.
Well, I was 14 and the guy was 16. And like I said, it was a crazy mess, but they sent me to prison. So I ended up doing 3 to 6 years. Which put me out at 18, which sent me back at 19, because now my mentality says, if you want something, you don't have to work for it. Now,
okay, hold the phone. Y'all think about what he just said. And think about yourself or your kids. If you have a boy child in your family or whatever, or even a girl child, 3 to 6 years, and he got out at 18. How does that happen? Anyway, etch a sketch, take the screen, clear it off. Okay, you get out and then you go back. What'd you do? Violate?
Nah, committed another crime, baby. Why not? I'm a felon now.
You're like, I miss my peeps.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Trying to go home.
And then the fear is gone. You know, now you got a young kid, young Black African-American kid that's fearless now. You took the fear out of him because you put him in jail, and now he's been there. So since he's been there now, what's going to scare him now? You know, so now I'm out taking chances, rolling dices. You know, if I get caught, I go to jail. If I don't, I get away. And that's how I lived. And it sent me back to prison 2 more times for the state. And then up in my late 30s, it sent me to federal prison. And federal prison did it, man. You know, it was an incident that I witnessed in jail, you know, in one of the federal prisons where I watched a guy lose his whole family coming to visit him. They were coming to visit him, and they were all in an RV. So let me just back up a little.
Okay.
So this is a guy who gave me a book called Think and Grow Rich. So yeah, bring it again. I want to hear that bell again.
Okay, I know that's right.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
Besides the Bible, that book changed my life.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you,
give me chills now. Quit playing.
So this guy gave me this book, and he was able to give me this book because he had a whole bunch of other books, and all those books were coming from this family of his that was supportive. You know, I can't remember how much time this guy had, but it was a Caucasian guy, really good dude too, very quiet to himself. But he had in the federal prison system, you don't get visits during the week. They do them all on the weekend. So your family can come up on Friday, visit you all Friday afternoon and night, and then all Saturday from the morning to the late afternoon, and then Sunday half the day till noon, and then that's it. Being federal, you end up in prisons nowhere close to where you live. So your family has to travel to where you're at to visit you. So a lot of times they're there for the whole weekend. Right. So some of them shack up in hotels. Some of them go to campgrounds. Well, his parents, to keep the costs down, they would drive their RVs up, and then they would camp for the weekend. Well, on the way up to visit them, they were in that RV. That RV got into an accident on the interstate, killed everybody in the RV.
Oh, no.
You know, so now this guy he lost his whole family. His whole entire family was gone, and all because they were coming to visit him. So what do you think happened to him, Doc? You know,
survivor's guilt.
Yes. So it ruined his life. So I was able to keep the book because they came in to tell him, and they had to take him out and put him in protective custody so he wouldn't kill himself. So that was the last time I seen him. And I was able to hold on to that book, which I later on in life gave it to my son. But that book carried on, and I brought that book to the street. I brought that book's concept to the streets, downloaded the Audible once I got it on my phone. And for the last 15 years, for the last 12 years, I've been listening to it repeat every year.
I know that's right.
So, but yeah, man, that's a true story, man. It's pretty crazy. I got a lot of stories like that too, but.
So, okay, let's talk about the transition from what was to what is. Okay, because here's the thing. A lot of people, they don't know how to grow, learn, and heal through their trauma. They kind of like drag it along like a piece of toilet paper stuck on the bottom of your shoe, you know, or a piece of hot gum stuck to the bottom of your shoe. Anyway, the reason I use the shoe analogy is because every place you go, there it is. There's that thing, that trauma. But then there are those of us who learn that, you know, again, whatever you ascribe to be greater than yourself, the universe, God, source, spirit, has a plan. And within that plan are these types of situations sometimes. And oftentimes we find ourselves, Chuck, in situations like, well, why would I be in this horrible situation? And I'm saying this from a preventative standpoint to some of you who are like, whoa, thank God, by the grace of God, I have it. But remember this, even in a place we go, why would I be here with this horrible person? Sometimes God puts us in those situations as real life examples of what we should never become. Okay, so let's talk about when you hit the stages like you did at BTYB. I know, but share with the folks, what is it you bring? What is your bread and butter golden nugget, that piece that you take every place you go, the grocery line as well as the big stages, that you were able to extract from these experiences you just told us about in order to help other people ease some suffering in their world? What is that? What would that be?
It would be my number one phrase, my brother. My number one phrase: you gotta stay positive. You got to, because I'm gonna just say this. My mom passed away last Monday.
No.
Yeah, she's gone.
I'm sorry. Oh, Chuck.
Yeah, for the last couple of days, all I do all day long is crying. Right now, during this time of day, I probably would be crying if I wasn't on this phone because it's so new. But you know what? Out of that, what do you think that queen of a woman would want me to do in this situation? She would want me to live up to what I stand for. Positivity. You have to stay positive through it all, man. We go through so much stuff, and you can think negative about it, but that's just gonna bring it even farther down for you. You gotta braise it up a notch, and sometimes it's hard to do that. It is so hard sometimes, but I find myself doing it, and when I do, Doc, I'm able to raise the vibration, and that's important to anybody that's going through something that's dragging them down. So that's it right there, man. That positivity tip. And I got a story about where that came from, and I know a lot of people haven't heard this story, especially if you haven't seen me on stage. But that's my big message I bring to the stage, is being positive, and I'm gonna tell you now why. One day I was working in a bucket truck out on a bridge, and this bridge was this bridge was in Kansas. It was in Leawood, Kansas, and I'm working in this bucket truck on a pole light, boomed up over a sidewalk, and my truck was like halfway up on the sidewalk, so it was blocking anyone from passing by. And I seen this tall Caucasian male that seemed to be in like his mid 40s or so. He came walking over the bridge, and there I was in his way. And it was cold out, but the sun was shining. People, the sun was shining so bright in that cold air that it made me feel good about being out in the cold. I remember because I had the sock monkey hat on, and that sock monkey hat, it plays a part in this story. So this guy walks up and he stops, looks out over the water, and just watches the river, the creek below the river. I mean, the creek below the bridge I was on. And man, for a minute, I just thought that I was, he was waiting for me. So I'm trying to hurry up, and I just can't get it. It's cold out, so my hands ain't, you know how your hands get when it's cold out. Well, I'm trying to move fast, and I finally get done. But as I'm closing up the thing, I just felt grateful for him waiting and not really complaining or anything. So I just had to say something to this guy, and I looked down and looked out over the water, and I just remember telling him, man, what a beautiful time it is to be alive. You know what I'm saying? It's cold out, but look at the sunshine. You know what I'm saying? And he looked at me with this crazy look in his face, Doc. He turned around and went back the other way. Well, a year later, I'm in a Quick Trip gas station right around the corner from my house. And if you've ever been in the Quick Trip, people, they got several cash lines that you can check out in. I was on one side of the checkout, and this guy was on the other side of the checkout staring at me. I got this sock monkey hat on, and this guy's staring at me, man, and staring. And I'm like, do I know this dude? He's just looking.
What you looking at?
Yeah,
right.
He got his order first. Then he started approaching me, and I'm like, man, I gotta know this dude from somewhere. So I've been all over the place. So I knew I just gotta. He's about to approach. So guy gets there, and he's like, "You work in a bucket truck, don't you?" And I'm like, "This is where I know him from work somewhere." And I'm like, "Yeah, I work in a bucket truck. Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Can I hug you?"
Oh.
And I'm like, Yeah, man, bring it in. What's up with this? But I'm thinking it's something that he's about to tell me. He's going to let me know. So I grab him. You know, he grabs me to hug me, and it ain't a hug, doc. This is an embrace, man. This is an embrace. This is like I did something to this guy, man. And he backed off of me, and he said, "Thank you. You saved my life."
Oh, I knew it.
And when he said that, everything dawned on me, man. This guy had came to that bridge that day to jump that bridge. And just because I said what I said, just because those words, I don't know this man from a can of paint. And just because I said those words, I saved somebody.
Ain't that something?
And it let me know, Doc.
Boy.
The words that you say to people, it don't matter if you know them. It don't matter if you even see them. You can literally say something on the internet and save somebody in Dubai.
Yes.
You know, and so it changed me. And that's why I said, you know, if I can be positive to one person, I can be positive to the world.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
I can't believe, remember I said the thing about the Chrysler? I promise you, if y'all have been watching me since the beginning, some of you might remember this story. You said Dubai. And you said internet. Chuck, I promise, the very first time that happened, what you said with the guy with the happened, excuse me, happened to me was because I was going to be on a podcast, and it was the middle of the night, back at the beginning of my career. And I had to get up in the middle of the night to do it, right? And I was like, oh, Lord, I want to do this, and the other. To hit the snooze. I was just like, I have to beg off and apologize later. Got up, did it. It was like a month later, I got something in my email from a 15-year-old kid in Dubai, a picture. He was sitting with his parents on the couch and had both of them underneath his arms, and on the coffee table was the gun. Well, that's an odd centerpiece for a coffee table.
Yeah.
And then I read, right. And then I read, he said, last night I stole my father's Mercedes, and I left the house and I took the gun, my father's gun, out of the safe, and I drove as far away as I could out into where it was secluded, but there were houses I could see through wherever he described. And so as I was reaching over the steering wheel to turn the volume up, I accidentally hit the button on the steering wheel that switched it from FM to AM. And it put me inside of a podcast, and you were speaking. The next thing I know, I had put the gun down. I had turned the car around and drove home, woke my parents up and told them what almost happened. And I'm sending you this picture because when we finish this, my dad is taking his father, who apparently was a physician, and was taking him someplace where he could get some help. And he said that same thing. There was one line, he goes, I don't even remember what you said, but there was one line in what I heard that told me this was a mistake. And I'm going to tell you something, Coffee Cup. I stared, Brian, my husband, will tell you, I stared at that email, felt like 2 weeks. And I never again said not showing up is never an option.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You never know. I believe our divine memories, those ones that God's going to turn our face and say, look over there, to ease the fear of transitioning to what is next. It's not, he's going to turn us to a bunch of fond memories. He's going to turn our face in the direction of divine memories. Those things we did when no one was watching. Those things we did and didn't even know we were doing. And I'm going to tell you something. That is powerful. That is powerful. That boy, what that monkey sock hat at now?
It's upstairs.
I know that's right. You better hold on to that.
Go get it.
Go get it.
All right, I'll go get it.
He's going to get the sock. Look, well, y'all like, why you go get the hat? Because it's a part of this story. I just want to say to you all out there while Coffee Cup is going to get that hat. See, never underestimate your potential to change. Just stop the sentence right there. You might say, change what? Don't worry about what. Just know that you have the power to change. So there it is. See, look at that. So, okay. So I want one of those. So I do. Oh my goodness. So tell me something. How many times, Coffee Cup Chuck, how many times have you been reminded in the midst of your own dark moment, your own shadow moment, of this moment that this hat represents with that guy? Talk about how important, what that's a slice of divinity.
Yep. And I had one of those moments too.
You go ahead. I'm just
loving so my divinity moment came. I was about 5 years old. My Uncle Steve, my grandma's brother. I know it was my Uncle Steve. He used to take me in all the coffee shops in Chicago and all of the speakeasies. And man, I was in every diner. He would drink whiskey and he would drink it in his coffee. So everywhere he went, he had his little bottle of whiskey. He would pour it in, but he talked to everyone. He's the man who taught me how to network. And that's why I'm the networker I am today, because he would not walk by anyone without, he used to tell me, never walk in a room and leave that room without at least 100% of those people, not 50, not 95 or 75. He said 100% of the people know that you were there. So, but one day he walked into hair salon. It was a lady in there he liked, and she worked in the hair salon, and the hair salon was right next to one of the diner cafes that he used to go in a lot. So when we left the diner, he stepped in there, and I sat down in the chair next to a lady who had one of those heater units on her head. And I was just staring at her because I didn't understand what that unit was at that age. And I didn't understand. I thought it was kind of like something that might be killing her brain or something. And I remember her staring at me, and it was an old lady, and she had curlers in her hair, old African-American lady, just sweetest smile on her face. And she just seemed like I knew her. And I remember her looking down at me and said, "Baby," she lifted that thing up, and she was like, "Baby, what's your name?" And I told her my name. I said, Chester Lee Doyle. And she said, "Baby, you're special, and you're going to grow up and be something so big one day. You just keep going, baby. You just keep that smile." And she just talked to me, and she just kept telling me that I was going to be something big one day. And man, all my life, all of the trouble I went through, all of the down moments that I had, I just kept remembering all my life. You got to be something, man. You got to be something. You can't stop. You're supposed to be somebody. And I think it came, that need to be somebody came from that lady telling me that that's what God was telling her, that I was going to be something. So even when I got my butt whooped, even when I went to prison, even when I caught felonies, even when things didn't happen right for me, even when I failed at a lot of the things that I failed at in my past, I always consistently believed that it was just a temporary moment and that I had to keep moving forward because I had to be something. So those moments are special in people's lives, and it's important to give those moments to people because you just never know what those moments will turn into for somebody else.
Amen. Amen. Man, you guys, Chuck, dude, wow, that's just so powerful. So, okay, I want one of them. I'm gonna find me one. Watch, I bet you. Next time you see me, I'm gonna have one.
I even got a Sock Monkey coffee cup.
I bet you do. How many coffee cups you got?
So the secret behind that is my wife, Coffee Cup Corinne. She takes these cups. She takes them and she puts stuff on both sides.
Yeah.
And once the cup's used, she strips it off and puts them back on. So I only really have 10 cups, and she puts images on, 5 cups, and she puts images on both sides to give me 2 weeks of productivity. So
they change all.
Yeah, she takes them off and changes, but when people order them, she puts them on permanently because she has a permanent press that permanently puts them on. But to avoid cup overload, we do it. We had, so in the beginning we got up to 100 cups, and my wife said we got to do something different. So we devised. I'm serious, man. This all comes to strategic planning, and all the way down to the name Coffee Cup Chuck, because God told me to use that, man. I'm like, that sounds corny as hell. Coffee Cup Chuck? Nah, I have to think about that. Do you want the world to know you as Coffee Cup Chuck? And God said, say it a couple of times. So I kept saying it, Coffee Cup Chuck. And then it sounded like a chant. And I was like, okay, I think I can deal with that. And of course, my first speech down in St. Louis, it turned into a chant. You know what I'm saying?
When in St. Louis?
When the speech that I gave down in St. Louis.
When I met you?
Yes. Yeah.
That was your first time?
That was the first time on stage as a speaker. I've done hip hop. I've been a hip hop artist for a long time, so I have been on stages.
Yeah, but as a speaker, that was your first time?
My very first time.
Would have never known.
Well, because I was trained by the best. You know, Terrence and that becoming the best speakers course that they have, they put their work in on that. I don't know if you've ever sat in on one of the sessions, but they would love to have you on the session because you are knowledgeable about a lot of things, and it would definitely help push some of those people into being speakers like us. And they were very influential to me as far as teaching me how to take the skills that I've already acquired from performance, you know, to turning it over to stage. And then they've also helped me develop my actual message, my actual story. And then they've helped me script it. The idea for me to perform a song and then lead into a speech, that came from Terrence and Brenda. You know, they said, look, you have to take the acquired talents that you already have that will help boost the visibility of how you speak. And when
set you apart too.
Yes, it sets you apart and it creates a brand for you. So they've always helped brand me. That's what they do to a lot of their speakers that are serious. You know, they don't do it to they don't do it to everyone because they don't want that energy to go and use. So they definitely take heed to the people who are really, really serious about it, and they'll start pouring that extra knowledge into you. So, but yeah, that was my first time. I've only been on stage twice as a speaker, and I can't wait to hit my 100th, you know. And that's right. And the crazy thing about it, Lauren, you don't get it, but going to these conferences for me, every time I see speakers like you on stage and Brenda and Terrence and people that are so versatile on stage when it comes to deliverance, because speaking ain't just talking, it's the show, giving a whole show. And
you look, I'm getting ready to show you something. Boy, they something else up there. You know what I'm saying? Look, you said your 100th. You can't wait for your 100th. And this just popped up while we were on the show. I saw it pop up as a memory on my phone. I said, this was my 100th speech. Out in San Diego, Cervex. There was the tickets to it. Yeah, popped up right here.
I love it, man.
Isn't that something? October 11th, 2017. So that means my 100th speech.
Yes.
Today is the anniversary of it.
Yes. And
oh my goodness.
Congratulations. I'm going to tell you what I take from you when you get on stage. And I know we might be running out of time.
No, we good.
But when you get on stage, Lauren, because I like to grab something from every speaker. I like to take it because every time you get up on stage, you're training someone for, you know, something better to become a better person. And even though we're speakers and influencers, motivators, we also are motivated and inspired by each other. Yeah. So when you get up there and speak, I follow your transitioning. The way you transition your speech and the method you use to transition it, it's appealing because you draw on your words and you linger just enough to make us say, okay, what's coming? And it keeps you in tune. So when you're up there speaking and you're that style that you have of speech, I find the phones aren't up to their faces. I find that the phones are down on the table and they're glued and they're focused in on what's coming out of your mouth. And that's important. So when I see that, you know, it draws me. And that's why this last speech that you've seen in
Kansas City,
I had a little draw on my some of the stuff that I was saying, because I picked that up from you.
Oh.
Now, Saucony, I gotta give him credit too, because
yes, hey Saucony.
Yeah, man. Credit goes to him. He just put me in a magazine too. I mean, my circle is amazing. That's all I gotta say. But this man gave me 3 tips, and those 3 tips were awesome tips, and I literally used those tips. And that first speech turned into the second speech turned into a better speech than the first one because of those tips. The first one, the tips he basically told me, what your wife is your golden army. She videotapes all of your stuff. So I know she videotaped it because I seen her doing it, which was a great thing.
Yeah.
He said, so take that video, and I want you to listen to that video without watching it. He said, the first thing I want you to do is listen to the video without watching it. Carry your words. Figure out what you said. Figure out what you didn't like. Figure out what you like. Adjust it. Then he said, next thing I want you to do is I want you to watch it without listening to it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I tell my client. Because your body language, you can tell what you're saying half the time. Oh, and other people too.
Yeah.
You can tell what they're talking about pretty much. Or you can tell, ooh, I want to know what she's saying.
Yeah.
Unmute. Because you can tell she's laying something down. Saucony, 1000% right.
Yes. And then he topped it off. And you know the rest, would listen to the whole thing as a whole and take what you take from it. But he told me in that order to do it. And he said, and watch you develop a little better. And I did it, and I developed. And I had to give him credit for that, because like I said, when you I think the last 2 years of my life, Doc, have been a blessing to me, because the environment, you put yourself, and that's what, being positive is saying, I refuse to put myself in a negative environment. So I'm going to be positive and place myself where positivity will thrive. And it thrives in BTBY. BTBY, becoming the best you, is the best environment that I've been able to put myself in throughout my whole entire life. And it's because the inner network of people have the same common goal. You have the same common goal as me. I want to help the world by helping myself through helping the world. And it's crazy to say it like that, but that's exactly what I do.
No, it ain't. It's
and
crazy.
That's why.
It's crazy powerful.
Yes.
To say it like that. It's crazy wonderful.
So I'm gonna turn into the interviewer right quick, because I want to ask you a question. Why do you do what you do?
Oh, because I do what I do because it took one time. It took just one moment. That's the thing about the truth. It only takes once, because it's the only thing in the universe that will never change or change on you. And the one time that God showed me and I watched the healing, I felt like God had just picked me up by my toenails and just dipped me in spiritual freon. I felt it from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet, that this is divine power. This is purpose. This is all that you came to this earth to do. It is that thirst that your soul wants to quench. And so when I saw that, that's all it took, Coffee Cup. That's all it took. One time. That's why I tell people, keep going, keep growing. And before you know it, you'll be on the road to showing people exactly what it is you were shown. And it's a powerful thing. It makes everything make sense. It brings it all together. And that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Yes. You all, that was a great, thank you for that question. And thank you for being here today. Great, great, great having you here. Listen, you guys, on your screen, you see up top, coffeecupchuck.com, and beneath scrolling is chuckdoyle.com. Check out both of them. We will take the liberty of dropping both of those links in your comment section immediately at the conclusion of today's broadcast, which unfortunately is right about now. But I want to say again, say hello to your wonderful wife for me. Blessings to both of you. Keep going, Chuck. I love what you're doing, and I can't wait to see what the next year holds for you. I know it's going to be great, great, great. And as for all of you out there, you know how I feel. Thank you so much for helping me find the first part of my highest self today by starting my day with you. Listen, Get out and find your highest self today. And I promise, God willing, I'll meet you right over there tomorrow morning again at 8 a.m. Our guest tomorrow is Lisa Hammett. She's got some great things to share, just like today's guest, Coffee Cup Chuck Doyle. So get out there, be your best. Leave everything else to what you believe is greater than you. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. And as always, in closing, and I mean it, I love y'all. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow. Have the best day. Chuck, great job. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Have the best day. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.